I've noticed that on a lot of my videos, I've been doing some command line stuff, and I know that with TrueNAS, we're trying to keep it in the GUI as much as possible, but sometimes it's just not possible. So today I want to do a quick kind of crash course on some command line stuff, so that as I'm typing these things, it doesn't seem so strange to people who've maybe never worked in the command line before. So the first thing I want you to notice about the command line when I come in here is this little dollar sign. This means I'm not the root user. I'm just a regular user. So if I type in who am I, I'm the TrueNAS admin. But right now I'm not running as root, which means my permissions might be limited. So the first thing I want to do is a sudo su. Sudo is going to give me what they call root level permissions, and su is switch user. So it's just going to ask me for my password, and you'll notice that now I changed to the hashtag sign. This means I'm running as root, which means I have full permissions, and that's kind of where I want to start. So right now it's telling me at /home/ TrueNAS admin, but if I type in pwd, this is print working directory. Tells me exactly where I am, just in case I didn't know that. So maybe I don't know what's in this directory. So I'm going to do an ls-l. This is just pretty much saying, hey, list from top to bottom alphabetically all the files that are in the directory that I'm currently in. Right now there are 0. So what I want to do is I want to change my directory. So if I want to change my directory, I'm going to hit cd, and then I'm going to tell it the directory I want to go to. So I'm going to start with mount. Now you'll notice I just typed mn. If I hit the tab, it'll automatically finish the last T for me. So if I come out here and I just do mn tab, it says, oh, there's only one directory that's slash that. So let's come out here. Let's list what's in mount. Tank, because it's the only pool I have. So I'm going to change D into tank. Now again, I'm not going to have to type in tank. I'm just going to type in T and hit tab, and it's going to fill the rest for me. Let's do it again. What else is here? Configs. So let's start by going into my, actually, let's go to my stacks directory. CD stacks list. Cool. You'll notice my screen's getting pretty busy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the screen so it's not so busy. Clear. There we go. So I have an R stack in here. Let's see what's in my R stack. Let's go to my configs. Cool. What's here? Here's all my things. So I'm going to clear this. Now I can use the up and the down arrow to cycle through commands I've used before. So instead of typing in ls-l, I'm just going to hit the up arrow twice. I don't have to type anything. Okay, so let's start with some basics here. Let's go into my jellyfin. Oh, mistype. Oh, here's what happened. When I type at the tab, it says jelly because there's more things that jellyfin and jellyseer. If I hit tab again, it'll be like, hey, there are 2 different jellies here. Which one do you want? I want jellyfin, like that. Okay. Okay. Let's start by reading some of these files, for example. So let's say I wanted to know what was in the system.xml file. Cat lets me say read whatever's in the file, just print it on the screen. That's what's in that file. So instead of me having to go in and open it, I can just use cat and it'll show me everything in there. That's a lot of stuff. Let's clear. I want to go into my data directory. Cool. Let's go into data again. Okay. See device.txt. Let's say I want to edit device.txt. I won't use an edo. Oh, first let's see what's in that. That just seems like one long string. Let's edit it. So Nano is going to be the editor that I use. I like Nano because it reminds me a lot of Notepad. It's very easy to use. So in this editor, I'm just going to hit my N key. I can hit enter. I can say new text here. I can go back and delete this text like that. To delete the whole line, I'm just going to hit Control K, and that deletes the whole line. Uh, Okay, so that doesn't work there. Copy and paste. Let's talk about copy and paste. Even though I have a cursor here and I can highlight this like that, Nano doesn't like that. If I hit delete, it's only going to delete the E. This is command line doesn't like a mouse. It's not used to mice, so something like this isn't going to work. But what I can do is I can highlight and copy and paste. So copying and pasting is some common things you'll end up doing. If I want to copy this line, I'm going to hit Control and then Insert. Okay. Now when I come down here to my next line to paste it, I'm going to hit Shift and Insert, just like that. So it's very common that you're gonna have to copy something from, say for the wiki, and then paste it into a command line. Shift and insert is how you're gonna want to paste that when you're here. And if you already have something here you want to copy, control and insert is how you're gonna copy. So when you're in Nano, you're gonna see everything here at the bottom of the screen. These are all the commands. You don't want to use like Control C, for example, to copy or paste. And to exit here, it's saying this little up arrow means Control. So to exit, it's going to be Control X. Now see down here is where I get all my prompts. Do I want to save it? No, I don't. Just like that. So now when I cat device, it should be the same as I left it. None of the changes were saved. In the event that we want to look at a command, sometimes, for example, I might say something like that. This gives me pretty much a crash course on how to use Docker. Docker is not a command. It's the beginning of a command, but this is how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look like Docker, then options, and then command. So it's supposed to take these three, what they call arguments. So this would be the first common commands, and these are management commands. So they're just, here's just some really cool stuff that's like, hey, this is pretty much how it works. So it'd be like Docker ps-a tells you what's running. This tells me that for 40 hours, Dockage is up. Docker, and I think Docker logs is one of the things I'm looking for. It's going to say Docker logs options container. So let's look at Docker logs options. So this is the container ID. So let's do a copy. Control insert Docker logs, then Shift insert to paste. Look at that. So now I'm looking at the logs for Dockage. Now, again, we probably would never do that in the command line, but I just wanted to show you just a quick example of how to do some things like this. Yeah. So within the command, let's clear this out now. These are some of the common things you'll see me kind of do when I'm bouncing around the command line if I have to copy and paste. Let's change my directory. So right now, where am I? Because this is where it's telling me I am, but like there's at least 3 dots here. This is a long path. There's things I'm missing here. So what directory am I in? Mount, tank, stacks, rstack, configs, jellyfin, data. So I want to come back to the configs directory because I want to go back into my qubit if I have qubit up here. So I want to go 1, 2, 3 directories back. So to do that, the double dot will bring me 1 directory back. All right. So you'll notice there's 1 less data here now. It was data before, now it's just data. I still want to come back 2 more directories. So I'm going to come back here. That's 1 directory. That's 2. Now I'm all the way back at configs. cd qubit. Now this is something you're actually going to have to do. cd wireguard, because anytime that anyone uses qubit, you can have the wireguard right here. Now you'll notice the first time if you watch my videos, I use the command called touch. So let's remove this file. Say for example I have the wrong thing in here. I want to remove wg0. There we go. Now it's gone. That's kind of how I do a delete. Let's say I want to make another file. I can do it 2 ways. I can do a touch like this. That created a file. Okay. Or I could just go right into my editor. I could do nano.wg0.conf. Now there is no wg0.conf here. When I do an w like that, there we go. There's no files here, but I'm going to do nano wg0.conf, and it's going to do 2 things when I do this command. First off, it's going to open up my text editor, but it's also going to create this file for me on the fly, so I kind of skip it. Key goes here. Okay, Control X to exit. Yes, I do want to save. And saying what file name do you want to write to? wg0.conf is already filled in. I'm just going to hit enter. There we go. So now I'm going to do ls-l. There's my wg0. Let's cat it. There we go. That's what's in it. Key goes here. So these are some basic commands that you might see me using in and around the command line. These are pretty much the only commands you're probably ever going to use. Just removing, adding, editing, and then changing your directories. That's probably all you're going to end up needing to do in the command line. Everything else I try and do as much as I can through the GUI, but once in a while I jump in here. And if you're seeing me doing these commands really fast, you might not be able to keep up with what I'm typing. So this is just a quick crash course on some of the basic things you'll see me do.